Hey everybody, welcome back to the program. Today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the brand new remaster of the Let It Be film that originally came out in 1970. It's finally available on Disney+. I literally just finished watching it, and overall it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and I'm so happy that it finally gets its due. It looks fantastic, sounds fantastic, and it really is... It's the Beatles doing what they do best. Yes, I love Get Back, but it is a commitment. But it offers so much backstory on this film. It really is not only the making of the album, but the making of the film. And it fills in a ton of holes that the Let It Be film, the original film, sort of, leaves out. I think one of the biggest missteps for me in the original film is Billy Preston. He just sort of appears and then he's not really seen all that much, and I think that's against his contributions to that album. I feel like he added a lot to the record, and he's really not seen for the film, which is unfortunate, but I'm glad that now with Get Back really shines a spotlight on his contributions, as well as the many people that are around there, including Mal Evans, George Martin, Glenn Johns, everybody in the room. But as a film itself, I think it is a very good music film. There's a little bit of documentary, a little bit of banter here and there, but I think with this new remaster, the film, it has been cleaned up, but not overly so, which some people did complain about the Get Back documentary. It almost looked like plastic versions of the Beatles. This, there's still that film quality. It's in the original kind of more square aspect ratio. And having said all that, it really does feel like a musical film, which I think is really beautiful. I really enjoyed how much music we got in it, especially, I think my favorite part was Octopus's Garden. Another moment I really enjoyed also was that short introduction between Peter Jackson and Michael Lindsay Hogg. I feel like that added just enough context to the original film, and it was really cool to see those two talk, and just you could really see the reverence that Peter Jackson has for the original film, and then for the satisfaction for the original director Michael to kind of like finally feel like his film is getting the due that it always deserved, because this film has been, I think, wrongly over the years sort of an outcast. I mean, it doesn't help that it's been forever since it's been made available. I mean, it came out originally theatrically, and then there was like crappy VHS copies. I don't know if it was ever officially released by the Beatles on home video. I didn't do my research on that. I apologize. But, for the longest time, I watched it on archive.org, and even that was just a terrible looking version. There was a lot of film jitter. There was a lot of artifacting. It was very dark and grainy. It just didn't look good at all. And with this nice cleanup, they didn't go too crazy with it, as I touched on earlier, but it really looks beautiful. I love the colors in this. It's sort of the mutedness of it, really showcasing that original film stock. And I do appreciate, too, seeing the original aspect ratio and seeing how the original camera people compositioned those shots, because there's a moment where you have Paul and John, and then Ringo's in the back, and they're just like kissing the edge of that frame. And to crop that in from the top and bottom, I think you lose a little bit. Also, there's a moment where towards the end of Get Back, you can see George kind of doing this as he's playing. Like, he looks very happy, which is a beautiful shot, but you can see how bouncy those boards are on that makeshift platform that they built for that performance. Another moment I really, really enjoyed was the upbeat version of The Long and Winding Road, which regardless of which version, whether it be the orchestrated one or the naked version, I don't really love that song. But that version, that upbeat version, I really liked it. I wish we had a full version of that song done in that style, because I don't know, something about it like really clicked. I know they were just goofing off and having fun, but there was a looseness to that. There was like that song as it's sung on the recording, there's a real heaviness to it. It feels almost saccharine, a little syrupy, but that just had this kind of lightness, almost in the way that Help is done. Like, I think if I recall correctly, you know, John wrote that to be much slower, and when you set it to a slower tempo, then the lyrics take on a little bit of a different meaning. They're much more somber, and so I feel like that song, you know, it's a missed opportunity in my book. I'm glad we got that little snippet that we did get, but I feel like that would have been I think that would have been a better production arrangement of that song. Production choice is what I meant to say, because it sort of juxtaposes the lyrics of that and sort of this, you know, it's sort of like downplaying depression and, if you will, sort of self-deprecating humor. Like, I don't know, I really like that. Now, my biggest gripe with this film is nothing to do with the film itself, but the handling of the distribution. And look, I get it. I'm sure this wasn't cheap to produce, to do the remaster. It was very well done. However, I don't understand why Disney didn't distribute this theatrically. I mean, it's the perfect vehicle. It's not like the truncated version of Get Back that they did eventually screen, I think, in select cities. But this would have been a perfect wide release. I don't know why they just went direct to streaming. Like, you barely even have to advertise it and people will show up. I know that's sort of the barrier to entry, but these days, you know, everything, you don't have to make a print. You know, back in the day when I was a projectionist, you know, that was a large part of the expense. You know, if there's like roughly, well, I don't know, 4,000 theaters in the US. I mean, that's a lot of prints you have to physically make, right? But now it's all digital cinema prints. It's like essentially like a hard drive that you just plug into the projector or the computer thing. It's a thing next to the projector. Anyway, I don't know why they didn't do that, man. Like that would have been amazing, especially in IMAX, just projecting that with the nice sound system. I hope Disney does that, but I kind of don't understand why they didn't, because, you know, pure math, if you break it down, like I had to sign up for a month of Disney Plus, and it's, I don't know, like $8 in the US. That's with ads. How much is a movie ticket? And, you know, that's like per person. You know, streaming, I can just show it to everybody for a month. Like, it just, the economics of it just seems like a total missed opportunity for, in my opinion, you know, the Beatles, they're not afraid to make money. Like, I just wonder what the thought process of that was. But oh well, it is what it is. I hope that we get to see this theatrically. I think that would really do it justice. Like, that would be the chef's kiss on this production. But at the very least, if we can get a physical release, that would be fantastic. I'm really hoping for that for this Christmas season. And, you know, maybe we'll get a soundtrack of it. Anyway, yeah, I digress. I just had to make that dumb joke. But yeah, let me know what you think of it. What was your favorite part? Are you excited for a physical release of this? Let me know with a comment down below. Until then, thank you all so much for watching, but I especially want to thank my supporters over on Patreon. I'm your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side.